make a drone and start mining. I have my hatchery on control 1 and my overlord on control 2. And then send your overlord to scout adjacent base. And then just keep making drones until you have 9 out of 9 population. There's a trick you could do to move your larva closer to your minerals to save like a second or so. Click 2 to select your overlord. Hold down shift, select the larva, or box click a larva to add it to the selection, and press S. You'll see that the larva moved closer to the hatchery, or closer to the mineral. This saves like a split second or so. After pressing S, you wanna immediately right click the overlord to the minimap so that he continues scouting without stopping. And then we're at 9 out of 9. The next larva is an overlord. And then we're saving until 250. We're gonna send a drone out to build your second hatchery. I have my drones. I have this spare drone on control 6 and my main hatchery on control 5. So I could press 5 SD, 6 SD to produce drones. 250, send it out. Make a hatchery. And then since we lost the drone from making this hatchery, we could make another drone from the hatchery. When this overlord scouts the first adjacent base, it isn't really safe to scout a second base after, because if Terran is here and you're not paying attention, they could kill your first overlord with their marines, especially if they're expecting an overlord to come. So if you want to be safe, just after scouting one base, send your overlord to float over the water at like a good spot to keep track on army movement. But since I know that the computer is Protoss and that there's no Terrans, I know it's safe to scout a second base. This second overlord that comes out, you want to make him scout your side to check for cannon rushes that start around 130, 140. If you want to completely scout your side, click your overlord here on the tile right outside of the creep, and then shift click him to your choke so that he could keep track of what's coming in and out of your base. So click and then shift click the choke. And then the next drone that comes out becomes your spawning pool. And then just keep making drones. And then at 250, we're sending out a drone to become the third hatchery. I put this on control 7, so you can press 5 SD, 6 SD, 7 SD to make Hydras, drones. And then 5 SH, 6 SH, 7 SH to produce Hydras. And then 250, send a drone out. Your fourth hatchery. And then immediately after placing your 4th hatchery, you want to make 2 sunks. One in the front, one in the back. Since there are no Terrans, it is safe if you're just fighting Protoss and Zerg to just put your 2 sunks next to each other around right here behind your spawning pool and your hatcheries as like a blockade. But it's a good habit to like put 1 sunk in the front, 1 in the back, just in case Terran try to do early aggression. If those 2 creep colonies are placed around 219, 220, they will morph into sunks around 245, 243, which is around the time Zealots arrive to your base if they're like rushing straight to your base. So say 6 o'clock is a Protoss and he's 4-gating, he sends his first 2 Zealots immediately to your base. These will finish morphing into sunks exactly when the Zealots arrive to your base. Now just keep making drones. Turn these into sunks. You could actually cut a few corners to be a little bit faster. Say you have an overlord like right here. The time that it takes for a unit to walk from here to your base is around the same time it takes to morph the creep into a sunk. So if you have good reactions, then you could skip out on morphing these, so you could be a little bit more faster with your minerals. But just to be safe, turn them into sunks. And keep making drones. And then at around 250, or 220, send a drone out to make your 5th hatchery. And then immediately after placing your 5th hatchery, you send 2 drones out to make 2 gas. Keep making drones until you hit 15, and then at 15 you're gonna make an overlord. Realistically, in a real game, you might have to add more sunkens or more creeps, especially if your allies don't help you out. But for the purpose of this video, I'm just gonna assume you have a good ally that will send units to help you out, and I'm not gonna add additional creeps for this video. If you have to add additional creep colonies and sunken colonies in a real game, just delay mining your gas so you have the minerals to afford the spare creeps and sunks. Keep track of your gas, because you want to send drones immediately when they are finished. And then right when you send 6 drones to mine gas, you send 2 drones out here to make your Evo and your Hydra den. Evo, and then at 50 gas, Hydra den. Then keep making drones until you hit 23 population. And then at 23, you turn your hatch into a lair. The reason you want 23 drones is because 17 drones on the minerals and 6 on the gas can perfectly sustain constant Hydra production off of 5 hatcheries. So make an overlord. You want to prioritize Hydra speed before getting the missile attack. Make a second overlord. So you have 2 overlords coming. And then just straight Hydras. You want to prevent your hatcheries from reaching 3 larvae, because hatcheries stop producing larvae until the hatcheries stop producing larvae when they reach 3 larvae. So if you want your hatcheries to constantly producing larvae, which means you want them to not reach 3 larvae. A easy way to remember how not to get supply stuck as Zerg is when you're around 10 away from the population cap, you make 2 overlords. So overlord. Require more minerals. Another overlord. For now, rally your Hydras between your hatcheries and your sunkens, just so that they're protected around like a blockade. You're not gonna have enough gas to get everything right away, so focus on getting Hydra range, and then after, overlord speed. Make like 4 drones, get Hydra speed, or Hydra range. And here comes the Protoss. You wanna run your Hydras until the Zealots start attacking your sunken colony, because your sunken colony has 2 base armor, so it'll tank a lot of shots, so your Hydras could just DPS. They're attacking the hatcheries. Get overlord speed. Let me check the game speed real quick. Move your Hydras back. And then get your 6th hatchery around this time. And 2 overlords. Those overlords were a bit late. I was a bit distracted trying to explain everything. Yeah, your 6th hatchery. And then you want to constantly produce Hydras until you feel that you've taken map control with a superior army. Now that Hydra range is done, you want to get your 3rd gas the same time that you start lurker upgrade, so that you could afford lurkers. And then your +1 attack should be finishing soon. I'm droning up now that I have around 2 to 3 control groups of Hydras, because that's around the time that your Hydra army overtakes a Protoss Zealot mass. When you start level 2 upgrade, you wanna take a drone and make a 2nd evolution chamber. Get your level 2 missile upgrade. Level 2 upgrades take a bit longer than level 1, and the increased time is basically equivalent to the build time of an evolution chamber. So if you use this timing, start level 2 while at the same time starting a second evolution chamber to get armor upgrade, your level 2 missile and your level 1 armor will finish around the same time. So you have a nice little 2-1 timing attack. And then here you could drone up. Oh, get your third gas up and running. After you start your level 1, you get your Queen's Nest to get into Hive. And then start turning Hydras into Lurkers with spare gas. And then with the spare minerals, make drones and hatcheries. Let's get 2 more gas. From here, you're kind of improvising. You want to make as much drones as you can so you could build up hatcheries and build up your gas. But at the same time, you want to maintain an army that could help out your allies and also protect your allies. And then get Hive. When you're getting Hive, get Link Speed and your third Evo. And then try to fill up your gas. Oh, we got supply stuff. We forgot to make overlords. When you get Hive, I'm a bit late, but when you get Hive, you wanna also get your Spire, because your Hive morph time and a Spire build time is the same. So when your Hive is finished, if you use this timing, your Spire will also finish to morph immediately into a greater Spire, so you could start making Guardians. Let's just keep this drone here, because when you're Hive, you want to get a Defiler Mound. So Hive, Defiler Mound, Ling Adrenal Attack, and then Spire into Greater Spire. But I was a bit late on this because I was distracted explaining things. And then from here you just improvise, make Hydras and Guardians, or if you want to do the Lurker Hydra Defiler style, that's also good. Make sure all your gas is mining. Yeah. And then just from here, improvise. Consume. And 2 Defilers when Defiler Mound is finished. Keep your upgrades going. And yeah, from here just improvise.